Alrighty, we're gonna install a wall light. We're gonna come off of this outlet. We're gonna go to a switch up here and then to a light above the switch. So we took our screwdriver here and made sure there's nothing in the wall preventing us from poking the wire up. So we'll trace our box up here. We'll go right above our outlet. We'll put it about right here. Okay, we got our tracing done here, so we'll take our keyhole saw and we'll make our hole. I'm just going to look at my camera, see how well that's centered there, and make sure it's going to fit. Yeah. It's better to cut a little small than too big. Okay, so we can drop down to our outlet down here. So we'll break open the bag here and get our wire up into here. Now we'll try to poke our wire to go up to our box. So here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Let's see if we can get this wire to go up. So we have to be kind of tricky, and so we'll slide our wire into our box here. Let's see if we can slide it up inside the wall here. Another little thing you can do to make it easier to go up is make sure you make sure your wire goes out straight here. We'll try again. Push it up. And we'll try to reach down and see if we can find it. Hey, we found our wire. It's right in there. So we're gonna make sure our box hole is cut right. So when we stick our box in, it'll go in very easily before we get. A little wider here. Make sure we want it to fit nice and snug so we get a good tight fit here. Make sure it's going to fit in there nicely, which it does. So now we can get our wire that's in here. So we'll bring in what we're going to need for our switch. And we'll cut off what we need for our outlet box. Okay, so we're going to go up above this box to put our wall light up. So we'll come up here, right above this box, we'll put it about right here. Now there's some insulation in the wall, so it's going to make it a little tricky, so I don't want to go too high. So we're going to go right here, we'll come across here, here. We mark our box like that. Now we'll go across our bottom like this and across our top like that. We'll just fill in our little spots right here. So now we'll cut our hole into our wall. Right on our line here. Out of the way so we can push our wire down easily. Let's make sure our box is going to fit in here nicely. See, these have the little tabbies that swing out when you tighten the screw to hold the box in the wall, and these ears overhang to hold it in. So let's just see if it's going to fit. Perfect. Okay, so now we're ready to mount our box in the wall. So we're pushing or open up our little opening here to slide our wires through. So we'll push our wire into our box like this here. Okay, so we'll bring in plenty of wire here, and I'll just pull all our slack down through here. And we'll make sure our little tabbies are out of the way here. And we'll stick our box into our wall, and we'll tighten our screws. It has to turn so hard you don't get frustrated. Something's not going to go, it's not going to go. Why is it all messed up? We're not getting it all bent out of shape over it. If it doesn't go, it just doesn't go. It's so simple. And see how it works now. There it goes. You don't let anything bother us. You just don't let anything stupid bother you. If it's stupid, it's stupid, that's all. You don't get upset over it. You know, just force it. And if it's not going to go, you know what? It doesn't go. It's not going to go. It's not going to go. It's not going to go. Don't get upset. Just force it until it does go, and if it breaks, it breaks. So be it. Oh, we're not getting frustrated over it. Doesn't go, it does not go. I'd rather broke than get frustrated. Our little head breaks off, you know what? It breaks. Be glad it broke. Don't get frustrated. It's too big, it's too big. Oh, we're not going to get all upset over that. I'm done with it. I'm not frustrated. If it doesn't go, it just simply doesn't go. try to get this one to go. If it goes good. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Thank you, Lord, for what you're trying to teach me. If I can't find it, I don't find it, and that's it. It's banged up. I'm just gonna go get some more. I'm all done frustrated. I'm not gonna get upset over it. Can't carry on, and I'm just gonna be done with it. So we're going to use what's called box holders. If I didn't have these, I'd be screwed. And I'll just have to do it another day. So when you put these in, you always put your long one up. Hold your box in, bend it over, push it in. Same with your top one. And we'll do the same on this side. Bring it down, push our box in, bend it over, pull it in. Oh, what happened here? Well, we're not going to get bent out of shape over it. It is what it is, so we'll just bend it over. It's the best it can be. We'll just pull this one out the best we can. Bend it over. You don't let anything bother us. You just can't. You just don't let things bother you. Because it's not going to change anything. It's not going to help. There it is. Hey, now it's in the way it's supposed to be. So a little force made to go in, so we'll just straighten it back out. Push in, bend it in. Pull up, bend in. And now we'll flatten it in with our those pliers. There we go. Now we got it the way we want it. Just gonna squeeze this one down a little bit better. Just let them fall. You don't get upset. If they fall on the floor, they lay on the floor and you pick them up. Okay, so we'll strip our wire here. I'll go up here. I'll stay right in the middle so I don't damage my wires underneath. Okay, so we're going to put our brackets on here. So we put our screws that go into our light fixture through here like this. And this will go up here like this. And we'll screw it to our box. Like this. Let's find some screws. So we'll screw our plate up here for our light. Well, if it's lost, you know what? It's lost. Don't get frustrated over it. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to help anything. Just leave it where it is and go get another one. So if I find it, I find it. That'll be good. So we'll make sure our cross pieces are straight across here, and we'll just tighten our bracket down. Tighten it in. Now we'll take our ground wire, we have to ground to our bracket here. We'll go around our screw here. Okay, so now I'll strip our black and our white. So here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors, however you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 222, 40 volt circuit where the appliance does not require neutral, but in this case this black wire is live. Okay, I like to strip my wires a little longer so we get a nice wrap around the, I'm going to cut the used ends off here. And I'll strip our wires a little bit longer than Okay, so we'll get our, I'm gonna get our insulation even at the top here. To get our strands down. We'll wrap our strands around the solid wire like this. So our copper's even at the end and our insulation's even at the top. Take our wire nut, make sure our insulation goes into the bottom of the wire nut. Make sure it goes on nice and tight like that. And we'll take our white wire, get our insulation even at the top like this here. Bring our strands down. I don't twist the strands together so they wrap around the solid wire nicely. So we'll wrap them around our solid wire like this. Copper even at the end, our insulation is even at the bottom. Take our orange wire nut, make sure our insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. Now if I have to move my hand, I hold this wire so it doesn't get moved around inside the wire nut before it's tightened. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, now we'll take our bare ground wire and we'll wrap it around our ground wire here. Get our copper even on the end here like that. Take our wire nut. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. And now we can put our wires into our box. I enjoy helping this landlord out here because he has a very good reputation around town. He's known for taking good care of his apartment buildings and taking care of his tenants. So it's a joy to help him out. And let's put a light on here, and now we'll put our nuts on here to hold the light. Make sure it's on there nice and snug. Now just tighten it. There's a little cosmetic knob that goes over the whole thing, but we bought this light at a garage sale and they didn't have those caps, but there it is. Now we can put our globe on. This little ceramic ring holds the glass globe on, and the socket is threaded here, so just set the globe up here like that. Make sure it's on there nice and snug. And we can put our bulb in, then we'll go down and do our light switch. So we have our box holders again in case we have the same problem we had in our other one. So we'll cut our wires here. We have a little extra in case we need it. We'll open up our openings here. 1, 2, and we'll push our wire jacket into the box like this. Make sure our little tabs are up. So if we have to use our hold it, so we can. So we'll push this in. See how this one works. This one looks like it's going to work I don't know why that other one didn't. So what that little tab does is it swings up and pinches the box between the air tightening up in the wall. That's what we want to hear. Make sure it's in the wall nice and tight. Make sure you get all your debris out. Okay, so we'll get our ground wires together first. So we'll use a push-in Wago connector to connect our ground wires together. We'll get them the same length here. We'll push our wire in and make sure you can see the copper all the way up at the top. Make sure the copper comes up to the top. Again, make sure all three coppers are showing at the top like that there. And now we can push our ground wires back into the back of the box here, get them out of our way. Now we'll use a wire nut on our neutral wires. Now what we'll do is, instead of twisting these together this time, we'll just line them up and put our wire nut on, so we get our insulation's even at the bottom and our copper's even at the end. We have a nice perfect strip length. We'll make sure they stay even. Make sure the insulation goes up into the bottom of the wire nut. Get a nice twist down in here. Now we can put our white wires back into our box. Okay, now we'll strip our wires and hook our switch up. I take off about an inch of our insulation. So you put your ground wire around your green screw here. You always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns. So if you put it around backwards and you tighten the screw, it's going to open the loop. So you put it around the screw clockwise, the direction that the screw turns. Close your loop like that. Make sure I get the copper under the screw head all the way around. That's what we want, like that there. Now we'll flip it around this way. We'll get our two black wires on our switch. It doesn't matter which terminal gets which wire. So again, we'll loop our wire the direction our screw turns. Like that. You want to make sure you don't get the insulation under the screw head either. Okay, there's what we want, our copper up under the screw head all the way around and our insulation up close to the screw head but not caught under it. Okay, this one's a slight bit short, so I'll take a smidgen more off of this one. There it is. Okay, I make my loop the direction our screw turns. You want to make sure you use the right hole in the strippers, because if you use the undersized hole, you'll make a weak spot in the wire. Or if you do get it in the wrong hole, you catch it before you nick the copper, you're okay, but don't nick the copper. Okay, so we get a good connection. That's the most copper you want to have behind the screw head, so we're going to just make sure our screws are tight. 1, 2. Now we're ready to put our switch into the wall, so we'll fold this one up, this one down, and we'll keep our ground wire down at the bottom like this. And we'll center our switch on the box so it's nice and neat here. And we'll put our cover on. Make sure everything looks good in here. Here in the country I was born in, with your single pole switches, down is off, up is on. If you put your switch in upside down, it will say no. So now we're ready to hook up into our outlet. Okay, now we'll stick our box extender in here. Now we'll have to pigtail our ground wires together here. Oh, we have quite a bit in here, so we can... So again, we'll get all our wires even here. Get them all perfectly even like that. Take your wire nut, make sure it grabs all three. Okay, we got a nice connection here. Now we'll get our ground wires to go into the back of our box. So now we're ready to hook our white wires up onto the side of our outlet. Here in the country I was born in, our outlets are polarized. Your white wire goes on the silver colored screw, which is the wider slot, and your black wire goes on the brass colored screw, which is the narrower slot. So we'll strip our wires here. We'll take off about 1 inch of each wire. Always put your wire around the screw, the direction your screw turns. Now I pull back on the wire to make sure we get our copper under the screw head all the way around. There we go, that's what we want. And we'll come over here and we'll get our white on our silver colored screw here. Make sure it's nice and tight. We have a good solid connection like that there. Now we're ready to screw our device back into our box. We'll take our wires, let's push them all back into our box. Get our ground wires all the way into the back here. And we'll get our black and whites going in like an accordion here. And we'll keep our ground wire down at the bottom so it doesn't touch anything we don't want it to touch. Here, we'll screw it in, we'll come down here. Push it back in here. Nice and snug. Now I'll just look and make sure our wires are, our ground wire is back away from everything where we want it. Our insulation is, our copper is in there nice. Everything looks good. Now we can just stick our cover back on here. screw back in. Painter's got a little paint on her outlet, so we'll just scrape that off here. And there we go. So that is how to install a wall light here in the country I was born in, using a 14-2 American wire gauge on a 15 amp circuit. On a 20 amp circuit you do it the same way, but you would just use 12 gauge wire, which is a little bit heavier than the 14, and that will be on a 20 amp circuit. Thanks for watching.